Yes, the Presto Precise Digital Pressure Canner uses standard research tested processing guidelines for both pressure canning and water bath canning from the USDA publication. The USDA does not certify any canners of any type. They only test recipes and make recommendations as to the safe food temperatures. Always remember 240 degrees to 250 degrees is the recommended pressure temperature to prevent the growth of bacteria. This is only attainable with a pressure canner. Happy Thursday, y'all. I had to read verbatim what the USDA says about not only this electric pressure canner, but all canners in general. They will not put a stamp on them. So in yesterday's video, when I said it's stamped for their approval, it is not stamped for their approval, but it meets all the guidelines and recommendations that they ask for food preservation. So therefore, any questions that you guys may have, I just read the words verbatim from that. Who knew? I thought they actually stamped many canners. No, what they do is they test them to see if they will hold pressure and follow the safety guidelines, and this does. Now, I did find something out. Since we're going to be talking about pressure canning, I did find something out from the website that made a lot of sense. And I am actually going to read it to you guys. Instapots. Remember, we talked a little about that yesterday. Instapots do not have a regulator or a vent to allow proper maintained pressure of 240 to 250 degrees temperature. The results, by not maintaining consistent pressure, the product may not reach and hold pressure for safety food results for consumption. So, that sounds a whole lot better than the way I said it yesterday in my own personal vocabulary. And that's what I was trying to get to, or to achieve, in my opinion. So there we have it. There's my disclaimer. And there was no sense in me going back editing yesterday's video because it was already out there, and y'all know I don't edit. I just don't edit. But today's video actually comes from one of our friends. And what I was going to do today, I'm going to do tomorrow. But she actually commented under yesterday's video, and she was talking about the amount of support on this wheel. I have 8. She says she has, I believe, 4. And hers is not holding pressure. Well, I took the time this morning to do some research. And yes, they have modified. But it doesn't mean that the 4-ring has anything to do with it not holding pressure, okay? So this is going to kind of touch on the question our friend asked, and then help you guys moving forward if you're having a problem. Because the instruction manual, and I've read it front to back since I've purchased this thing, for proper cleaning, 1, you do not immerse the lid in water, okay? Most of us know that. But 2, as in the old canning lids, we can lift them up, make sure we see daylight, everything is clean. Whereas these, you just want to put some soap and water on here. I actually just use hot water or vinegar on mine, and then I dry it out or let it air dry. That's how I clean it. Now, some, and in the manual it says you can, but it's not recommended to do it after every canning, whether that be water bath or pressure canning, unless something exploded in there. It is not recommended to remove this to clean your lid. Some actually unsnap this. This is a grommet right here. So some would unsnap it and clean all up in here. Well, That's not recommended every time. Plus, it's a little hard to unsnap, and I'm not going to take mine off because I'm not sure I can get it back on without the help of Buddy. But this is just something you do here and there, unless, like I said, there's an explosion. So it's not recommended. So if you are removing this and really cleaning it, if that grommet is not on and this seal is not in place, because this is not like the seals of the old canners, okay? This is kind of a harder rubber seal. Then you may not be putting it back in place. That has something to do with the seal of it. And all I do is when I clean, before I use it, I just kind of go around and I mash it in just like that to make sure it has a good seal. Now, if you're wanting to really clean it, right here it says you can take a soft brush or a pipe cleaner and you can go in and clean. I can look at mine and see that there is nothing inside, outside. I can also see right here there is nothing that has formed underneath the pop-up. But I just, like I said, I take a little rag with vinegar and I clean mine. And mine looks brand new, and I've used it 20, 25 times. So that could be what's going on. It doesn't have anything to do with the amount of brackets or whatever you want to call of this wheel. But if it's not pushed in properly and you are dismantling it every cleaning, then that could be where the problem is, because it's not snapping in place where this grommet is. So I hope that answers, you know, your question and a lot of y'all's. You know, what about the cleaning? How do you do that? You know, you don't. You just clean it. And then, like I said, you can take this off, but be prepared. You got to really pull it and you got to snap it on and make sure it's snapping in place where this lock is. And that's something that I cannot do without the help of my husband. That's why I moved to this canner, because I don't need him to help me lift it. I don't need him to help me dump it, because it's not so big. And I do have 23 quarts. I have 2. I can't lift them up, guys. And I'm not doing double stacks because the volume for this works great for me with everything else that I do during the daytime. So I can do smaller batches, but I can do them back to back, because in my opinion, it doesn't take as long. It does not heat the house up, guys. So yeah, I'm very pleased, but I also had a question of the capacity. So to make sure that I didn't give wrong information, I actually looked at the manual and I went online as well to the Presto website. And this will hold 11 half pints, the jelly jars, 8 pints or 7 wide mouth pints, 5 quarts. Guys, that's plenty, you know, for me personally, and I'm gonna assume for a lot of you guys, because it just makes it so much easier. Now, some of you may still like that double stack and do in high volumes. This works better, again, like I said, because of my physical disabilities. So there you go. This is part 2 of the learning the Presto canner. Now tomorrow we're going to get in a little bit more detail of the front, the mechanisms, you know, how that works. But yes, let's go back and let's look at the cleaning of what I just said. This does not have to come off on every cleaning. You can clean it the mild soap, wipe it off, or vinegar. And guys, this is easy. I mean, it's just easy. There's really not a long video to express how easy it is. As where your stovetop, I have to take my rubber out and I'll clean it. Then I'll put a little bit of olive oil in there, make sure it doesn't dry out. You don't have to do that with this. So, yeah. I hope I answered the question. I don't think it has anything to do with the ring. Maybe you could reorder. I would call Presto. But I honestly believe that it's just not snapped in where this grommet is. I think that's what it is. So, Now that we've got that done, let me tell you what I'm doing today. I don't know if you can see this pot, but I went down to Mr. Larry's, our neighbor. Now, I don't remember the name. I'm going to have to ask him, but he has some yellow plums. I mean, yellow as the sun. And I went and picked a big bucket. I've got them cooking down. They're almost ready to strain. I'm just going to strain it up in like a tea pitcher, let it get room temperature, put it into the ice box, and tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and make 2 batches of plum jelly. So I am done for the year as far as that. As far as the jelly, I may have enough blackberries coming in I can get a small batch, and we're set. So we'll have mulberry jelly, blackberry jam, and plum jelly. That's going to be our jellies for 24 to 25 season. So I am quite pleased. But this is going to be gorgeous, and I will let y'all see what it looks like, because it's kind of got a clearish yellow, light yellow, almost clear. It looks almost like apple juice, to be honest. It's beautiful. So now be looking for just a Lippy video, and I'm probably going to post it today. Does it matter that you have 2 videos in a day? I don't think so. I mean, girl's got to have her friends, right? And that would be y'all. But as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. Look for me in a couple hours. Bye, y'all.